Today on CJ Off-Road, we're going to be ditching our factory differential cover and replacing it with this aFe Power Dana M220 diff cover. This is going to fit all 2018 and 19 JL Wranglers, whether you have a Sport, Sport S, or a Sahara. This isn't for a Rubicon model, so just make sure of that when you do place an order. This comes in 3 different finishes, either just a complete raw finish, the black with the milled accents, or red with milled accents. This is going to match our Jeep extremely well and allow us to run some more differential fluid in there to keep our diff a lot cooler when we're off-road with our brand new engine inside this Jeep. We're going to show you how to get the factory cover removed and throw this one on right now. So the first thing that you're going to do before removing the factory diff cover is get all the fluid out of there. It's really not a lot of fun when you have diff fluid all over the place. It can make a mess, so make sure you have a nice pan. You can do this on the ground, we just have it up on the lift to make it easier for you guys to see. And on the JL, on the side of here, you'll have a 3/8 square. That's gonna be your drain plug for the differential. I'm gonna use a little ratchet here, loosen that up, and show you guys all the diff fluid that goes right into this container. Just gonna go right in the square there. Once it gets to a certain point, you can actually pull it off by hand too. Nice and slow. There you have it. I'd also say, guys, too, that if you do have your JL for a little bit of time, you know, 40, 50,000 miles, and you're thinking about doing a differential fluid swap, it's probably a good time to get a diff cover as well, because if you have this one out on the trail, it's gonna get beat up and smashed. So doing both at once, it's gonna give you a cleaner looking rear end, plus drain that differential fluid out and get some fresh stuff in there. So it's a kind of a win-win to do both at the same time. Make sure you reinstall the plug after most of it is drained out. Once you have all the fluid or most of it out of the differential, you're gonna wanna go around and remove all but the top 2 differential cover bolts. Now these are gonna utilize a 10mm socket to get all these pulled off. Shouldn't be too hard. Just go around and get all of them but the top 2 out. That way you can crack the bottom of the diff cover out and let any fluid that's sitting down in here out before we start working on it. Now aFe does include new hardware, so you won't need to reuse this at all, but I like to just keep it around just in case. By draining it on the side there shouldn't be too much fluid hanging on in there, but you never know. Just a couple threads out there. Grab a small pry bar and just gently go in between and pull these apart. Just a little bit of force on there. So yeah, there was still some fluid, but that's why we kept those top 2 bolts on. That way it hangs there and doesn't drop on us. Now we're gonna remove the last 2 bolts and remove our differential cover. Pull this cover right off. So we have to reuse this seal. It's almost like a lube locker from the past. And what we're gonna do is actually set this onto our new differential cover in the correct orientation. Okay, once you have it in, then I'm gonna grab the Allen key, 2 of the Allen key bolts to go up top. Just get those started right like that. That way it holds the gasket in the correct orientation. Be a little bit slick once you get some oil on your fingers. I'm just gonna get these top 2 snugged up as well, not fully tighten them yet, until all of them are on and we make sure the diff cover is lined up. Okay, there you go. We're gonna go around, you put a washer under this Allen head bolt, then just go around and put them in the rest of the holes. Make sure you tighten these down all to 12 to 16 foot-pounds in a cross-threaded pattern. That means just go back and forth like a star pattern. I'm just gonna verify them all with my ratchet before we start putting some fluid in there. This is gonna prevent any leaks in the future. And then we have a nice, solid, secure differential cover. It's really important when you fill this up to have your Jeep on a level surface. We have it up on the lift so the tires are perfectly level. One thing, if you are in a driveway or somewhere slanted, your axle tube is gonna be higher on one side and it'll take longer to fill this and could potentially allow you to have more fluid in this and blow out your axle seals, which is not a good thing. So always make sure that this is level. We're gonna use some 75 weight 90 differential fluid, full synthetic, put it in through the top, and there's a little side port over here. As soon as it starts coming out of there, we have enough fluid, so I'm just gonna start. They say it takes around 2 quarts, so we'll see as we go. Let's go for our second quart, and for this one, I'm actually gonna stand over here and just monitor that, so we'll make sure it's at the right height. So it looks like in this case, it's gonna take a little bit more than 2 quarts, so I'd recommend buying 3 from your local auto parts store. Now we're gonna start working on our third quart here. I don't think it'll take too much of this. Up and see, look, it's just starting to come out right now. That's as high as we need to be, right there. Pull it down a little bit. I'm gonna put the plug right into that with a little bit of thread sealant. That tightened down so that way we don't have any leakage issues. Okay, once that's tight, last thing to do is put our dipstick in the top. You're gonna use a 1/2-inch ratchet wrench to get that tightened up. Just use the end of it, it'll fit right on. Now the dipstick is gonna go all the way in from the top, and what I like about this is it is magnetic, so if you have any shavings or anything like that coming off, you install a new gear set, you'll be able to tell when you check the fluid level. So I'm just gonna slide that right into place. Line it right up with the threads on the top. And get it started, try to by hand. All you have to do to get this tightened up is put the end of a 1/2-inch wrench in there. Just snug it down. So about a half hour later, we have this aFe power differential cover installed on the back end of our 2018 JL Wrangler. Now I really like how much fluid capacity it expanded our factory diff cover, and it's nice because it has a viewport on the side here to let me know basically how my differential fluid looks, as well as to keep a good check on where the levels are. The install time, like I said before, is about 30 minutes, and you only need basic hand tools, a couple Allen keys, and you can get this done yourself. Now, if you want to find this differential cover, as well as a front diff cover, and many other great parts from aFe, be sure to check us out at cjponyparts.com. Hope you enjoyed that video. To stay up to date on our CJ Off-Road videos, make sure to subscribe up top here, and for any other installs, make sure to click the link right above.